here with my husband. I'm here to do a Q&A, and I got a lot of really good questions, so I asked him if he would sit down with me, and he agreed. So anyway, we'll jump right into it. I got a question from Married and Blessed, and she said, how do you feel about trying to conceive the second time around? So I'll let you answer first.
I don't feel really any different. Yeah, I don't feel any different than I did the first time.
So I said that I felt way more relaxed and a lot more hopeful. So why don't you feel any different?
I don't know. I don't know that I felt that stressed last time.
You just knew it was going to happen?
Well, I don't know. I guess I didn't know that it was going to happen. Maybe I felt more stressed than I think I do now. I think I did now, but
Yeah.
I don't remember feeling stressed.
I remember feeling really stressed and really broken, and now I actually have hope because the fourth IUI took, and so I know that that could work for us. So I feel like there's less pressure this time. She or somebody else, I think it was somebody else, asked how much an IUI costs. And at our clinic, it costs around like $480-ish.
Yeah, I think it's something like that. I can't remember if it's like $473 or more or less than that.
Yeah, so yeah, $480-ish. So I got another question sort of related to that, and they said, what are your fears or what are you most excited for about having a second child? Do you want to answer that first?
No, you can.
Okay.
You asked me first on the last one.
Oh, okay. So I'm afraid that I'm going to neglect one of the babies. And I think that just comes from spending so much one-on-one time with Cecilia that I feel like all of my energy goes into her, and how am I going to split it up between the two? But I'm also really excited about having a second one, and I'm excited to see how it's going to change our family so much. How Doug interacts with the new baby and how Cecilia interacts. Those are the things that I'm most excited for. Okay, fears and excitements. Go.
I guess I'm excited to see how our new kid is relative to Cece, because I don't know that I could imagine having two kids exactly like Cece, so it'd be neat just to see how different they are, and just be around them. I think it'll be exciting. But my biggest fear is being able to take care of both of them when they're fussy. I think that's something that will be really difficult. Sometimes it's difficult to take care of Cecilia when she's fussy, and I can't imagine trying to do that with two kids at the same time.
Yeah. So my next question was about weaning. They asked how I went about weaning Cecilia, and I want to say that she was mostly she weaned herself, really. I feel like I was holding on to it much more than Cecilia was. And so it was pretty easy to cut down one session per day, and then the next week cut down another session during the daytime. And so we cut down our day feedings within a couple of weeks, because I think she was only eating 5 times a day, once in the morning, once at night, and twice or 3 times in the middle of the day.
I can't remember. I want to say that you cut one back a week after you talked to the fertility clinic.
Yeah, that's definitely true. But I think I was down to 4.
I guess I don't remember when you talked to them, because you weaned at 13 weeks, and you were doing
I weaned at 13 weeks?
Or 13 months, sorry, not 13 weeks.
Yeah.
13 weeks, that would have been really early.
Yeah, that would have been really early.
I want to say that you cut out 4 over the course of the 1 a week, and then you were doing 2 at 13 months.
Yes.
And then when we cut out the night one, that just kind of got rid of the morning one.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely was getting engorged and stuff, and so I would hand express just a little bit, just enough to like get by, because it was really uncomfortable. And then once we cut out the night feeding, I was no longer nursing her down and then handing her off to Doug to put her in. I would just sort of remove myself from the equation. I would, get her ready for bedtime, give her a bath, do all that routine stuff, and then give her a big kiss and give her off to Doug. And by that time, she wasn't taking a pacifier, so she wasn't sucking on anything. She was totally content having just cuddles. So that's how we did it. I'm super lucky that Doug is around most of the time. And we made sure that he wasn't traveling during this time, so he was around for all of it. And
when we actually cut out the last one, you weren't feeding, you would just kiss her and I'd put her to bed.
So now, and I think I made you do it for about a week, and then I started coming in, and so now we trade off. On the weekends I'll put her down, and during the week Doug puts her down.
Yeah. So I think it was 1 week, and then you were done with those last two.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And but she still asks for it, when she's really sick or upset. Luckily, she hasn't been terribly sick. I think she's had about 2 illnesses since I stopped breastfeeding, and she'll tug at my shirt and point down my shirt. So she asks for it. Yeah, she does try to bite the outside of my shirt. But I'm taking bromocriptine, so I can't feed her from myself. Once I stop taking bromocriptine, I'm probably just going to let her nurse if she wants to. Okay, so more Brianna asked, how many kids do we want in total? And I'll let you answer first.
I think 3 or 4 would be cool.
And I think if the second one is a boy, I'm kind of done.
That's not going to happen.
But I don't know. I mean, we'll see. So my friend told me 1 to 2 is either a big shock or 2 to 3 is a big shock. So we'll see. If 2 is a big shock, then I'm probably going to be no more kids. But if it's not...
if 2 is a big shock, then 3 is easy, so...
I don't know about that logic.
It's not my logic, it's your friend's logic.
Yeah, that's true. She also asked, what does Cecilia do that reminds me of Doug? And I think her sleepiness when she wakes up and she's groggy is exactly how Doug wakes up most of the night. He says hilarious things when he first wakes up. I got the coupons. Or did you get the coupons? Or she's right here. And he's hugging a pillow. Yeah. She wakes up kind of groggy and then starts going, that. And I'm yeah, you're asking about the coupons, aren't you? So that definitely reminds me of Doug. On the flip side, when she's deliriously tired, she gets crazy giddy, which is like me. When I'm super tired, I just
start, laughs at everything.
I look drunk. My friend Wanda asked, what is your worst diaper story? I have been pretty lucky. She's only peed on me. She peed out the side of a cloth diaper onto me. That's the worst that I've encountered. Duh.
She's peed on me a ton of times. Oh my gosh. I don't know how many times. She's I think I've had the worst of pee and diaper and throw up situations.
Yes.
I've been entirely drenched in throw up, but chewed banana throw up. It was disgusting. Yeah. But one time Anna changed Cecilia's diaper, and
as one does.
For some reason it seems like this happens more with disposable diapers than with cloth diapers, but a lot of the time on the back you end up getting one butt cheek out of the diaper. I don't know if other parents have had this happen, but Anna got one butt cheek out of the diaper, and I was holding her, and I noticed that she smelled really bad, and I pulled her away from me, and I had poop on my pants, and I turned to Anna, and I said, Anna, Cecilia pooped my pants. So Cecilia has pooped my pants before.
It was hilarious. I mean, just Doug's delivery alone was hilarious.
It was a really bad poop too.
It was a runny
poop. Super liquid,
Oh my gosh.
gross.
Yeah, so that was the worst one.
Yeah.
I've had it easy. Like, in terms of poo in general, like, I did have to catch one of her poos coming out. She was really constipated, but it was not in a diaper. It was in my hands.
And it was very solid because she was constipated.
It was very solid.
So it was like catching a rock.
It was catching a very smelly rock. Wanda also asked, what surprised you most about birth? So, for me, it was having to have a C-section. Like...
The birth.
The birth. I did all of this research to have a natural, like, no medicated, like, just all of this supernatural birth. And then when I found out she was breech and no one around, like 2 hours away I could go and he might deliver me breech. Nobody around me would deliver a breech, so C-section it was. That was really shocking. And then the second thing was that when they took Cecilia away, she had meconium, which is a bowel movement in the uterus. They took her away because she had breathing issues, and they took forever stitching me up. They had like a nurse in there learning on me how to stitch me up, and so I was like, get a move on it. I want to see my baby. And they were just kind of like, la-di-da. Oh, that's too much skin. Oh, that's too little skin. Blah, blah, blah. Space it out this far. Anyway, what about you?
I mean, the delivery as well. Pretty much everything. How before your actual C-section, I was alone in a like prep room for probably 30 minutes, just sitting there with nobody. I thought that they had forgotten about me. And then how I got into the room, like 15 minutes later, you'd been cut open, she'd been taken out of you. I really couldn't do anything. I took a couple pictures, I think with the camera that we're filming with right now. And then she had to get wheeled down to the NICU, and so we got separated. I was not expecting that. And then I couldn't hold her. I was just sitting there staring at her in the NICU while she was getting oxygen, and they were trying to get her to breathe well. And I think that was like an hour, and I hadn't heard anything about how you were doing at all. So like the whole process of being separated and not getting to like interact with her at all was really weird. It wasn't at all how I thought it would go.
I feel like it was much more traumatic than we were expecting.
And
Like,
I mean, I don't think people really train you at all for what a C-section's like. And
I've heard good things about other people's experiences. We just did not have one.
well, I mean, we took that birth class, and they say like, oh, you should be prepared to maybe have a C-section, but that's really all they do. They don't tell you anything about like, you know, you could be separated really quickly, and then you might not see each other for like an hour, hour and a half, and yeah, I don't know. I didn't feel like they did a good job of preparing us for C-sections while they spent a lot of time on like trying to help you get ready for birthing.
Yeah.
And
Because that's mostly the norm. Like, they don't want you to have a C-section if you can avoid it. And so they try to, like, just sort of skim over that. Yeah. So that was kind of rough. Wanda also asked, who is the best Disney villain? And I think we came up with the same answer. I called him Shadow Man.
I don't have an answer, but
I thought he was your top. Anyway,
No.
Shadow Man from The Princess and the Frog. But he listed a bunch. What were yours?
I talked about him. I think his name's actually Dr. Facilier, something like that. I don't know how to pronounce it, but he's a good one. I like Scar and Jafar, both as bad guys.
Those are good ones.
Those are like my two favorite Disney movies. And then I think Hans is a really good one because
From Frozen.
the first time that you watch Frozen, you don't really know that he's a bad guy until like really close to the end. And I think they do a really good job of making him kind of like a twist.
It was a well-told story.
I think Mother Gothel's also a really good
From
bad
Tangled.
guy because you can really hate her just how much of a jerk she is the whole time.
She's terrible.
Yeah.
Those are good answers. Yeah.
That's not one answer. So
I know.
It's not a good answer, but
was trying to just like compliment you. And then Wanda's last question is, how much do I love Jakob Dylan? And for those of you that don't know, the Wallflowers, oh my gosh, big 90s band. Jakob Dylan was a lead singer.
Not a big 90s band.
Huge!
Not a big 90s band.
Hush your mouth.
A very small 90s band.
No. They did have 1 or 2 hits. Anyway, Jakob Dylan is Bob Dylan's son, and he's beautiful. So I still love him.
Sorry, Jakob Dylan. I don't think you're beautiful.
How do you feel about Jakob Dylan?
What's the next question?
Oh, gosh. Doug is not a fan of Jakob Dylan.
Well, I mean, I think his music's fine. I'm not in love with him.
Looks-wise, he's not a fan of Jakob Dylan.
No.
So, Shark Baby, Shay, asked a bunch of questions about Oregon, because I'm from Oregon, and that's where we met, actually. So, she said, what part of Oregon are you from? So, I'm from this small town called Newburgh. That's where I was born. It's about, like, 50 or so minutes south of Portland, and it's about, like, 45 minutes or so away from the coast. It's kind of perfect distance, I think, from things. I mean, it's not a big town. It's a small town. But yeah, I liked it. What do you miss about it? I miss the water. What do you miss about Oregon?
I don't know.
I just love the green everything. Like, everything is blooming. Everything is green without any effort. Here in New Mexico, you have to water the crap out of everything in order to get any results. But yeah, anyway.
I've liked things everywhere that I've lived, so I don't know that there's anything in particular that I miss about Oregon aside from how green it is and how you can go see the ocean. But to be fair, I'm not a big ocean fan, so
I am.
I think it's neat to go see, but I don't like going and hanging out on the beach all that often.
She also asked, would you move back? Would you?
I don't know. I could see moving back. I don't know that I would ever move back to where we met at all.
Probably not our like little hometown, small town. That's probably not where we will end up. But yeah, I wouldn't rule it out. That's for sure. Yeah, I liked it. She asked, what place would you recommend visiting first? And I think we both said Portland first and foremost.
Yeah,
Portland.
I think it depends on what you are interested in. Like, they're really good beaches, and so if you are really into the ocean and beaches, there are tons of beach towns you should go to. Don't go to Portland first in that case.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Depends on what you want. Although Portland is right on the Willamette River. Snake River? Willamette River. I don't know what river it's on, but there's a river running along the north side of Portland. I will put text down here of what river it is. Anyway, so there is water in Portland, and people go sailing, and there are all sorts of things.
But it's not a sandy beach.
Not a sandy beach, though.
But Portland has way more stuff to do in it than a lot of the beach towns.
And food, and music, and, I mean...
But the beach towns have a lot of really good seafood, too, so...
Yes. And so my second thing that I wrote was visit Seaside, Oregon. It's beautiful. It's so gorgeous there. It's very quaint, but it's like one of the more done-up towns, I would say. There's a main street that, like, is headed straight for the beach. And it's just, it's cute. It's pretty. There's a little roundabout at the end, and then the beach goes on forever. It's awesome. Yeah. And if you are a fan of cheese, head to Tillamook, because they have the Tillamook Cheese Factory there. And if you guys don't know what Tillamook cheese is, you're missing out. It's so good. It's like the best cheese ever. And you get free samples of cheese.
And cheese curds, which are awesome. She doesn't like them. I don't know why, but cheese curds are awesome.
Yeah, they squeak on your teeth, and they're just
they're
like...
fun. You get to chew on them, and they squeak in your teeth.
I don't like it. I don't like it. Anyway.
But they also have really good, like, ice cream that they make there.
Oh, yes.
And jerky that's really good.
They just, oh, it's so good. So, Tillamook, on your way to the coast. That's what we usually do if we're going to go. Or on the way back from the coast. And then she specifically asked about Astoria or Portland because she's thinking about possibly moving there, maybe. And I would say Astoria's cool. The Goonies was filmed there, so it's pretty awesome in that regard.
I don't know
It's a
that I've
beach
ever been to
town.
Astoria, but I don't know that it's got a whole lot of stuff going on in it.
No, it's a decent beach town, and it's nice. I really like Astoria. It's further north, and so I would say it doesn't get as sunny or as warm. But
And I think it's further away from. I don't think it's any closer than an hour from Portland, but it might even be further than that.
yeah, it might be further.
It might be like an hour and a half to 2 hours.
If
away from
I
Portland.
had to choose between Portland and Astoria, I would pick Portland, and I'm a beach lover. So that's just my opinion. There's just so much to do in
I think from Portland, you're still pretty close to beaches. Like you can get to beaches within an hour.
Yeah. So that would be my choice. What about you?
I'd pick Portland
There you go.
because I'm not a beach lover.
Portland is a big town, though. So that's the only drawback to living in Portland is there are lots of one-way streets and really narrow roads and
But there are a million places that you could live and still kind of claim that you live in Portland and
That's
not
true.
actually live in Portland.
good point. Those are all of our questions. So thank you, Doug,
You're
for doing
welcome.
a film with me. All right, bye, guys. I will talk to you later.